Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a reading for the end of September 2025. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. High Priestess. Wow, okay. You're someone who's really stepping into your sort of wisdom. You know, I feel like you're becoming more connected with your intuition. I feel like you always have been, you know? But I think it kind of goes through cycles. It goes through ups and downs. It sort of waxes and wanes, you know? I think you're moving into a period now where, you know, especially coming off of the new moon solar eclipse, right? I feel like you're starting to grow in your perception, your intuition, your connection with kind of your own inner voice. You know, learning to trust yourself more, learning to trust the perceptions, right, that you sort of receive. I feel like as this, I mean, because this card represents the waxing moon, right? The widening of the psychic aperture, the opening of the third eye. So I feel like you are gaining in this psychic perception right now, especially now till the end of the month. I feel like you're stepping into more intuition, more clarity. I feel like you're going to be picking up on more of the subtle things around you, reading between the lines, finishing people's sentences, kind of like knowing what's going to happen like as it's happening, you know what I mean? Where you're able to kind of like, you're able to say what other people are thinking and that sort of thing is going to be more common for you. And so this card is about learning to trust that, okay? Because your intuition is trying to guide you to your best life, trying to guide you to your paradise, to the fulfillment of your wish, the manifestation of your dream, or the accomplishment of your goals, okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what else is going on for you. End of September, we have the Art or Temperance card. Six of Swords. We have a Prince of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. Oh, wow, okay. Two of Swords. Yes, very, very nice. We have a Knight of Wands, a Prince of Wands, a Seven of Pentacles. Okay, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set this down right over here with our little octopus friend, the Eight of Tentacles right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. All right. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, please put your prediction in the comments below the video. All right, now, as we look around the room, we see our two major arcana energies right here front and center. Okay, so this to me feels as if the intuition, you know, the High Priestess leading you into areas of your life where you need to temper your energies, you know? So it feels like you're pulling back things in your life that might be too extreme, or things that you might be too heavily involved in, or spending too much time or too much energy, effort, money, space, right, on things that, you know, that aren't exactly working the way you wanted them to. So sort of, you know, pulling back energy from certain things and applying that energy in other places where it might be more useful for you. Okay, so we have very good major arcana energies here. We've got fire, obviously, over here, right? We've got water on either side. We've got some air. We've got some earth. Okay, so fairly balanced. You know, it's actually very, very balanced. Yeah. So we talked about the High Priestess stepping into that intuition. Let's talk about the Art or Temperance card. This is sometimes a card of a pressure cooker. Okay, sometimes this is knowingly entering into a situation that's going to be challenging for you. Okay, so it kind of feels as if you're pushing yourself toward more growth, more development, more transformation. Okay, you're not someone who is going to shy away from that sort of self-refinement. You know, you're going to do things that are challenging for you, and I think that you're trusting your intuition even when it's guiding you down what may at first feel like a more difficult road. At first, okay, but I feel like what seems like the challenge is going to be really the most rewarding path for you. So I feel like in the next couple of weeks you are going to be confronted with a choice to either take the easy way or kind of take like the right way, you know? And I think you're going to know intuitively, and you're going to have to trust intuitively which road is the best road for you. The best road is not always the easiest road. This is the card of that sort of refinement, okay? Being in the pressure cooker. It's also the card of sort of voluntarily lying down on the blacksmith's anvil, you know? This card, we're tempering, as in we're being made stronger by something, yeah? I think that you're somebody who you could say without a doubt that your past has made you stronger. The things that you have been through, the things that you have faced and overcome have made you a stronger person. I feel like you're someone that can kind of handle anything, you know? It doesn't mean that you want to or that you should or that you need to, okay? So I feel like you're someone who has paid their dues in life, yeah? I also feel, like I said, this is intuitively with you now knowing which things to withdraw from a little bit. It seems as if there are certain things in your life that maybe you've been putting too much of yourself into. It might be time to pull some of that energy back. Maybe you've been spending, 4 hours a day on something, and maybe it's, well, let's dial it back to 3 or 2 or even 1 hour, or maybe it's something that you don't want to have in your life anymore at all. Maybe it's something that you kind of want to take a break from altogether, saying, I don't want to do that. It's kind of like with my daughter, she's 5 years old now, and a lot of you remember when she was just, 1 year old, I think, is when I started the channel, I think when she was 1.5 or maybe 2. She has a lot of activities. She takes a lot of classes. We have her in some extracurricular things, sports and, all this kind of, she does jujitsu, she does dance and, and as the seasons change, we kind of notice that she's losing some interest in certain things, but gaining interest in other things, okay? So we might say, okay, well, why don't we dial back on some of these other activities and kind of let her deepen her commitment to other things. Okay, and I kind of feel like that's something that we all need to do every once in a while, yeah. Especially as the seasons change, especially as the moon waxes, yeah. And I think as you begin to get more of that intuitive understanding of like where you want to go in life and where your soul is kind of leading you, I think that you'll get more clarity about which things to devote yourself to, what things to give more time to. And in order to do that, I think we have to get that time from somewhere, right? We could be talking about time, effort, energy, money, space. We might have to take some from some area of our life in order to give it to those things that we really feel are resonating with us more, that are capturing more of our interest. Okay, so I feel like that's coming up for you as well, kind of rebalancing your commitments in life and rebalancing your investment, right, of yourself, of your resources, again, time, effort, energy, money, space. Down beneath the surface, you have a 6 of Swords. This is a card. One, it's a card of putting some distance between an event from your past, okay? So I think that's something that you have been not so much confused about, but something that you didn't have all the answers to. okay, over the last couple of months. I feel like you're gaining some understanding, a deeper understanding of what happened or what that was or what it meant for you. Because this is, to me, a card of, it's kind of a card of clarity. It's a card of things making sense. This is where everything makes sense. You ever have that feeling like you're just going through your day and you think, everything, like, I understand why everything's here and what it's doing here and what it means and what my place is and all of that, you know? So it's kind of, in a way, reorganizing your life to where everything kind of makes sense. Maybe it is adjusting your calendar. It's kind of balancing your accounting of your energy, you know, until everything kind of fits, everything looks nice, everything makes sense, and maybe it's balancing the budget, maybe it is balancing your energy budget, or, you know, sort of readjusting your calendar, making some changes until everything just kind of looks pretty good. We could lock it in place, okay? I think it's important to know that this is basically the best we can do is a general sketch of life. We can have kind of a rough outline of how we want things to go. So be prepared for variables. Be prepared for contingencies and kind of have a plan B, or not even really a plan B, but being capable of kind of navigating on the fly. Well, I think you're very good at that, although I think Virgo likes to have some structure, likes to have a plan, and kind of likes to know kind of what you're doing, you know, every day generally. But you're also very good at improvising, okay? And we see that connection with our Knight of Wands over here. So the Six of Swords, yes, it's telling me to organize your life and put everything in place to where it makes sense, but also be willing to modify this plan as you go, okay? Don't be, in whatever you're doing, if you have dreams, if you have wishes, if you have goals, don't be so reliant on the map. Okay, be willing to go off trail if you have to. You know, you're that hermit energy. You can go off trail. You can improvise. You can trust that light within, and you can hold your own lantern up to the road and see where you should go. Okay, so be willing to sort of modify your path and modify your plan and your expectations of what the road's going to look like for you. Whatever your goals are, if this is at work, at home, at school, creative goals, spiritual goals, whatever that, relationship goals, things aren't always going to go the way you want them to, but that doesn't mean they're not going, okay? Sometimes it's the road we didn't expect to be on that's going to lead to this Ace of Cups, right? And we'll talk about the Ace of Cups, but first the Prince of Cups in the background. This is your authenticity. This is you who is able to kind of maintain your authentic self, your core beliefs, your values, right? Even in hostile environments. Okay, so I feel that you're someone that isn't allowing yourself to be too heavily influenced by other people. Okay, you can be, because this card is what, air and water, right? It's a little bubble of air in a vast ocean, an ocean that's heavy and dark and trying to squeeze it, trying to crush that bubble into smithereens, you know? And so you are that bubble. Your authentic self is that bubble, okay? And so it feels that maybe recently you had to kind of like stick up for yourself, or you had to be the only person that believed something when everybody else was like against you, or everybody else believed the opposite, and you were trying to kind of hold your ground and maintain that opinion or that belief or that value that you held. Okay, or trying to hold on to your idea when everybody is kind of telling you you should change that idea, or you should come with us, you know. Resisting being assimilated into the value system of other people in a way, okay? Resisting the influence of the people around you. And so I feel like maybe you had to kind of defend yourself in that way relatively recently, okay? But the authenticity here is telling me that you don't give up on your dreams. You're not somebody that has kind of, you know, wash them away. You know, you're still holding on to those. And I think that it's really, it's going to pay off very soon. I think that there's a really big, kind of an emotional win happening here very soon. I think probably by the end of September, you'll know what this is, and you'll be very pleased to receive that. Okay, the Prince of Cups is someone who is also very aware of their emotional disposition. You know, I think that you're someone who is able to be yourself, even like, you know how you walk into a room and you can feel the vibe of the room, right? And then it's kind of like you could feel that energy kind of seeping into you. And before you know it, you're in the same kind of vibe or the same emotional state as everybody in the room. I think this is your ability to perceive that and either avoid those situations or to maintain your clarity and your honesty and your authenticity no matter what environment you're in. Okay, so again, I feel like you're very sensitive to the emotional energy of others, but you're learning how to not have to take on those emotions. You know, you're around your friends and all your friends are mad, and then suddenly you're mad too. Everybody at work is frustrated, and you walk in and suddenly you just feel that frustration. Okay, this is your ability to notice that and say, okay, I don't have to be the same, vibrate at the same frequency as everybody else. Yeah. So I think this is a very good card, especially in this position, because I feel that this is a lot of emotional intelligence that you've been gaining over the years. Yeah. The Six of Pentacles at the top. I think towards the end of the month would be a good time for you to get involved in some kind of group activity where there's a common goal. Okay, so it's not just working alongside somebody else, but kind of getting involved in something where you're working together toward a common goal. Yeah, and I do think that this is a very successful endeavor, whatever this might be. This is also the card of success after struggle. So I feel like you've believed in something, you know, even when there was resistance. And I think it's going to really pay off. This is kind of a light at the end of the tunnel card. So I think that whatever you might have been holding on to here and resisting the opposition and holding fast to your dream, your wish, your hope, your aspiration, your goals, okay, I feel like it's paying off. Okay, so the Prince of Pentacles with that authenticity, not being influenced by everybody else, okay, trusting in what you believe, everything is going to manifest that you've been sort of expecting. Okay, you may not get there by the same road that you thought you were going to, but this is going to prove, okay, this is going to prove to you that trusting yourself was the right answer. Okay, because now when this win, this material success, so it's something that you believed in, it's the opinion that you had, it's the belief that you had, and you stuck with it. You didn't let anybody convince you to let go of that idea or that goal or that dream. And I think that you're getting some sort of proof in the next couple of weeks that it was the right idea to not give up. Okay? This is success after worry, after struggle, after a fight. Yeah. And I think that for a lot of you, it does have to do with a group thing. This might be some successful work thing, a project at work. Maybe this is even, you've been holding out for the right kind of job or the right kind of career change or a promotion or something. I feel like this is that energy coming in. Okay, there's something of a financial or a material nature that is going to prove to you that believing in yourself, trusting your intuition, despite the opposition around you, was the right move. Okay, Spirit's emphasizing that. So this is some light at the end of the tunnel that's coming in for you. the Ace of Cups in this future position, this is something else that's coming in for you, and this feels like it is, well, it could be tied to this as well, okay? For a lot of you, this is going to be that sort of confirmation from the universe. This is going to be really a flood of positive emotions, okay? I think that the pressure cooker energy, the things in your life, the projects, the endeavors, the hobbies, the relationships, the work that you're applying yourself to is going to be much more satisfying than it's ever been. I feel that there are a lot of milestones coming up for you. Okay? There are a lot of these markers that are kind of gonna really bring joy into your heart. I'm feeling such an elation from this card. And I think that you're open to receiving those. I feel like for some of you, if you're looking for love, I feel like you're going to be starting, you're going to be meeting somebody with whom you may be starting a deeper relationship, okay? To me, this feels like some of you are identifying something in your life that you want to give all of your energy to, something that you want to spend all your time doing, or a person you want to spend all your time with. It's something that really activates your heart. This feels like an emotional compass. Something is just going to feel right, okay? Whether it's that job, whether it's that win at work, maybe it's a career I don't really feel like there's a change of career, but there's something happening in your physical life, right, that's going to confirm that intuition. And I feel that this is a lot of positive reinforcement, okay? And I feel that there is, for some of you, for a lot of you, I feel like there is the discovery of something that overjoys your heart, okay? Something, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a gift from somebody that's coming in, okay? Maybe it's kind of hearing from somebody that you haven't heard from in a long time. I almost feel like it's something that you thought was gone, or something that you thought wasn't going to happen, but then it's kind of, you know, they're calling you back or something, right? And then it's coming through for you after all. Okay, so again, it kind of goes down to this Six of Swords that's saying the path to get to this bliss might not be the path you thought you would take. Okay, but you're trusting, because the intuition is going to take you off road. The intuition is going to take you outside of the map. Okay, and I think that it's going to be a test of your commitment. It's going to be a test of your belief in yourself and that kind of authentic voice, you know. But you're going to arrive there. Okay, or this energy is coming in because you stuck with it even after you thought maybe it wasn't going to show up, but it's showing up. Okay. Now, on the path of the serpent, we have this Two of Swords. This is your ability to make decisions. I think that you're becoming much more discerning in your life. I think you're realizing that your energy is very sacred and very valuable. And so the choices that you make about where to direct your energy, what to give your energy to, is being very carefully made, those choices, okay? This is really a card of intuition, you know? It's the card that explains how you're making choices, okay? And you're not just, you're not just guessing, you're not flipping a coin. Maybe in a certain sense you are, but you're also not trying to be too logical, rational about things. You know what I'm saying? It's not just what's going to look good on paper, or what sounds like it's going to be the right answer, or even what seems to make the most sense. But when we talk about it making sense, I feel like now we're getting it close to that intuition. What feels right? What kind of, you know, what the energy is, what is the vibe that I'm sensing in this situation, okay? And I think that you are making choices that will lead to more of these kinds of situations, you know, the kind of overflowing heart, the heart chakra activation, the bliss, the joy, the jubilation, the celebrations, you know, and what's going to lead to more of the more success, more rewards, more light, right? at the end of the tunnels, and more sort of more group wins too. I feel that there's a lot of lunar energy still drifting with you here and kind of guiding your path. Yeah, we see the crescent moon at the top of this card, which is showing the intuition. After we've made our plan, right? After we've thought everything through, after we've done all the math, after we've weighed all the options, right? Then we sort of stop and we listen to the silence and we try to just feel it, okay? Which again is kind of echoing our Six of Swords over here with the High Priestess on top of it. We do all the thinking, we make our plan, we make it as detailed as we can, as perfect as we can, and then we sort of trust that intuitive light, that guiding kind of force in our lives, So we kind of need both. We need a very strong intuition, and we need a very strong kind of, logical, rational mind. And I think this card, even the two, right, the Two of Swords, is talking about how you're using your logic and your intuition together to make decisions that are going to lead to success and bliss and for you to make new choices, new connections, okay, and to set up new goals and have, to add on to your dreams and things in a way that really is authentic and coming from inside of you. So I feel like you're not someone who's really letting other people direct your life for you. You're maintaining that sense of direction. In your relationships, you have a Knight of Wands. I feel for a lot of you, there is a very kind of fiery and exciting, and very charismatic person that's going to be entering your life, okay? If you're looking for romance, this is going to be the person. I think you're going to meet them quickly, and they may be an Aries person. You're going to meet them very, very fast and unexpectedly, and I feel that the relationship is going to want to go really quickly, okay? I have this feeling that there's going to be a lot of passion, a lot of excitement. It's going to be fun, and it's going to try to move fast. So I think that you're going to have to trust that intuition there, okay? Because it may not be part of your plan. It may not be exactly the way you thought things would happen or the way they should happen. You've got to decide if you're going to hit the brakes or if you're going to trust the intuition. And if your intuition tells you, let's move forward, let's try this out, you're going to have to make that decision. Okay, I think for others who aren't looking for love or who have other other plans for life, remember that sometimes life doesn't go according to plan. Okay, because I do feel like we are recognizing something in the next couple of weeks that is going to want all of our energy, okay? Now, for some of you, like I said, this is going to be a person, it's going to be romance, and your heart is just going to be like love at first sight, okay? I think for others, this is going to be, it could be a puppy dog. It could be a new art form. It could be a new place, a new thing, a new skill, hobby, a sport, a musical instrument. Something, okay? Something is going to appear before you that you are going to feel just fired up over, that you're going to want to give all of your time, effort, energy, and money to it. You have to be very discerning with how you're allocating that time, effort, energy, and money. If you want to do this more, you have to do other things less, okay? So there's this idea of balance that we're sort of looking at, okay? The Prince of Wands is your fear, worry, and concern card. So I think that it's kind of a question about longevity. Is this something that's going to be sustained for a long time, or is this going to be something that's just kind of a short thing, like a fling? And I think that it's again, kind of goes back to the intuition. You have to trust in what your inner voice is telling you. If this is something that's just a flash in the pan and it's just for a few days or a few weeks, fine, right? I think you have to ask what you're really, not what you're looking for, not what you're sort of planning, but what your inner voice really tells you. Because you could be saying, well, I'm looking for something long term, right? And then when you're in this situation, this might be something that your heart really, really wants, But then you may notice that, okay, you don't want it long term. It may be something that is just meant to be in your life sort of temporarily. The idea there is not to force it to be something that it's not, okay? Not to hold on to something longer than we sort of know we should be. Yeah. This is the card also of that kind of sustained effort. Yeah. So we're talking about the allocation of your energy and how much you're giving your energy to certain things and how much you are kind of, pulling that energy back in. This is about maintaining that balance. Okay, because this is a fixed fire energy. So it kind of is saying that, look, it kind of basically saying we're on a fixed energy budget. Yeah. And so we have to try to be balanced in the things that we're committing to. I think you don't want to move too fast, you don't want to move too slow, you don't want to overcommit, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. But you also don't want to miss out on the things that really matter to you. It's all about how we maintain the most efficiency in what we're giving our time to, what we're putting our effort into. Okay. I think a lot of you are involved in long-term projects, and this is the importance of that long-term project and how you need to stay on the gas consistently on that project. You don't want to let anything else that's happening in your life distract you from that long-term project and slow it down. So when you're making your decisions and you're navigating the next couple of weeks, make sure that the things you're choosing, if you do have this long-term sort of project or plan or this goal that you're going after, make sure that the things you're choosing are helping you to maintain that speed. Like I said, it feels as if there's some kind of a milestone, or there's a lot of milestones coming up for some of you. And I think that as you get some of these wins, as you get these successful, kind of peaks on your mountain climb here, you have to make sure that those are motivating you, okay? Not to let them slow you down. They're meant to motivate you, okay? The Seven of Pentacles up here is really a need for discipline. We have some Taurus energy entering your reading with the 6 and the 7 of Pentacles, okay? This is really the joy, the really positive feelings of getting a win, of completing a project, of being part of a winning team, that sort of thing. This is the discipline. This is Saturn in Taurus. So I feel like this is the discipline that you need now to continue pushing forward and not be content with what this is. Okay? If you have long-term plans right now, the wins that you're going to experience in the next couple of weeks should be motivating you to keep pushing through. Okay? To stay disciplined and to stay committed, and to continue putting in all of that work and all of that effort into what you're doing. Okay? And, for some of you, maybe looking at the Ace of Cups as a bit of a distraction, or even as the Knight of Wands as a bit of a distraction. Well, that's where your discernment needs to come in. Because if this is going to help motivate you to keep climbing, good. If this is going to slow you down and you're going to say, well, I don't care about my goals anymore, right? Then maybe it's not such a good idea. But you have to use that intuition to decide if this is something that is going to be, and with anything, I don't think it's any specific thing. It's not just one thing. It's generally saying anything that comes your way in life, you've got to be able to look at it and say, if I engage this, is it going to help me get to my goals in life, or is it going to completely derail what I'm going after in life? If you have those long-term plans, goals, wishes, dreams, okay? Let's look at the mystery card. I would like this to be, it's either going to be Pentacles or it's going to be water, okay? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Oh, it's the Lover's card. Okay, well, for some of you, this is going to be an unexpected love at first sight kind of situation. It's going to be something that you want to say, heck yes, 1,000% to. This is another card of choice. Okay, and we have the Two of Swords as a card of choice. We have what is already your kind of planned life, And then we also have the idea of your intuition and the idea of temperance, the idea of how we're sort of, how we're allocating our energy. And this is a choice, right? The Lover's card is all about choice. It doesn't have to be romance. For some of you, it is. For others, it's going to be the choices that show up in your life and how you make those choices, and what you what you commit yourself to. Because I feel like when something pops up for you and you want to commit yourself to it, you say 1,000% heck yes to something, it means you're saying no to a lot of other things. Okay? So I think for some of you, yes, there is a kind of a love at first sight situation that's going to pop up for you. For others, this is going to be perhaps another path that appears for you that's going to really speak to your heart, and you're going to want to choose it. But you have to do so fully informed. You have to do it wisely, okay? I think for some of you, this is the reunion energy. Something from your past that you thought was gone is coming back into your life. That is going to be a big, happy surprise, okay? Or something that you thought was not going to work out, you're now getting the phone call that says, hey, it's working out, okay? For some of you, this is going to be an emphasis on the teamwork, team building, okay, especially with that Six of Pentacles up there, focusing on union, focusing on bringing things together that belong together, not trying to force things together that don't belong, and not trying to separate things, but finding out what belongs in your life and striving toward that unity. Okay. So you have very, very good energy right now. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo, Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.